Hi everyone! Do you remember all the cool 6 GHz discovery mechanisms like FILS or broadcast probe response? In the early days of 6 GHz discovery, where we talked about clients have to send a probe request to 59 20 MHz channels, that will take 6 seconds. But then we had like the RNR, reduced neighbor report, that saved the day. Because the cool thing about RNR is that you can have a single SSID on 6 GHz and have a different SSID on any of the other bands, and that band, for example a guest network, will include reduced neighbor report information, like information about the 6 GHz SSID of any other ones you have configured on the controller. So the only time you would need FILS or broadcast probe response would be if you have a single SSID configured on your controller on 6 GHz. And the cool thing also about RNR that you don't have to use preferred scanning channels. My PC has been connected to a 6 GHz non-PC channels for months. It can still find it via reduced neighbor report. But what if we only had a single SSID? And what if you configured it really badly on the 9800 controller or any other controller where these settings are possible? So we're going to look at that right now in a real-time spectrum analyzer using the Spectran V6 500X from the WLPC Phoenix. This is my mission for these testing purposes. I call it like the Cisco Spectrum Expert because it's a little bit similar. Like 4 blocks. Here is the typical spectrum view with some different views. I'm going to talk a little bit about this mission later in the video. Take the fun things first. And then we have the waterfall, histogram, and 3D because it looks cool. I'm going to press play, and we can analyze what is happening right now. At least there's no traffic. We can pause this one, zoom it in, and we can see there is a beacon that is being sent every 102.4 milliseconds. And yeah, nothing is really happening. With reduced neighbor report, clients should be able to find this network fine. So what happens if we disable 5 GHz? Let's try that first. Here is my 6 GHz only network. And we're going to disable 5 GHz and just see what happens. And now it's not easy to see what really happened, but if we pause this a little bit, and then we can see we have new frames here that are sent approximately every 20 milliseconds. Right? So now we have FILS that has been activated, because if the standard from, at least from Cisco's controllers, is if you have one SSID with only 6 GHz, FILS will be enabled automatically every 20 milliseconds. But what if we can make it like much worse? So we can go into radio. Radio. Go to 6 GHz profile, go to AX, and then we set it to broadcast probe response every 20 milliseconds. What happens now? Okay, the frames are larger, the air is more utilized, so it looks a little bit worse. We can try, so let's say you have configured every access point on the same channel. I think I've already done, have done that. Wrong button. Let's see. Yeah, 5.1. Let's see. Enable this one. Let's see what happens. Okay, a little bit more traffic. We enable the third AP, everything is on the same channel because you did really bad channel planning. Okay, so now we have 3 access points on the same channel, sending broadcast probe response every 20 milliseconds. We can I can put one of them in channel 1, so the secondary will be channel 5. Let's see what happens if we enable broadcast probe response to be sent every 5 milliseconds. I don't know why you would do that, but let's try. Don't even know why it's possible to do it. Every 5. Can we go lower? No, between 5 and 25. Let's do it. Let me see what happens. Okay. That looks bad. But we still have airtime. It just looks bad. If we look at, if you put one of them on live, let's say the 3D on live, and we pause it, you see there's still room. There's still room for additional frames. Yeah, we can put everything on the same channel again. Let's see if we get it a little bit more worse. Let's see, access point. I have to press the right button here. Take this one, and I take this and put it back on channel 5. There. And then I think the 3D view will look really bad on YouTube. Why not? And then we can go into a monitor AP statistics and can watch this one and see, yeah, it reports a channel utilization of 17%, 16%, 21%. So around 16-20% channel utilization, 25. Okay. 25, yeah. So you can get it, you can ruin 6 GHz quite well if you just enable broadcast probe response. I can take this one a little bit back so YouTube will be able to show it. We can also see how everything looks in softwares like Wi-Fi Explorer, for example, here. And then here we see the same thing, like the channel utilization 24, 16%. And these on channel 1 should maybe we can see if we find a way to destroy these other network, because there is a little bit traffic on them. So if I change everything to channel 1, because there I have my my other network or my other access point, change it to channel 1, 40. You don't see me configure it, but you see it clearly in the Spectrum view that I'm doing it. So channel 1 there. Everything should be on channel 1, and see what happens in Wi-Fi Explorer, because there were a little bit here from before. So we got it up to 24%. Yeah, 24% channel utilization by configure broadcast probe response to being sent every 5 milliseconds. Like your own weak little very expensive jammer. So that was the thing I was going to show you. I can now show you maybe how is out of the border. How this I can show you how I made this mission. So I'm gonna pause it, and then you can go into editor so you see everything that I configured. So you have the Spectran V6 block, and the only thing that I configured on this block was temperature fan control, because when you turn this off, then the fan will run at full speed. So because I'm recording a video, I enabled it so it would only run at intervals depending on how hot it is, right? That makes sense. So I haven't done anything on this one here. And I have the calibration block. This makes sense for everyone that works with wireless. You remember, like, you create an offset for a client, that some clients hear 5 GHz network 10 dB less than a different client. But that's across the board. Maybe someone hear Uni 1 10 dB lower than Uni 2 because the antenna isn't good. So in the calibration, if you have an antenna that is calibrated for 2.4 all the way to 7.2 gigahertz, you add the antenna here. So I've added an antenna like the 3800 antenna. I'm not using that now, so the data we see is not exact, because we see here that, for example, this one have a couple of dB loss at these frequencies. But if you add the calibration data, it will be compensated in the view. So for the more calibrated data you have, an antenna that is properly made for these frequencies, you will have more correct data, right, for the view. But what I've used, just added something because I didn't need it to be exact. But what you also can do, and then what you do often, because I lack the proper antenna, is I go to the calibration and I change this little part, the power offset. So I'll look at my networks in, for example, Wi-Fi Explorer, and see how well can my client hear these and these frequencies during, for example, a scan of 5 gigahertz. And I just move the offset up and down until it gets pretty similar. But again, this isn't exact. I'm using the wrong antenna. I'm using the wrong calibrated info. I'm just using this to get a view that are like visible in the spectrum view. So every cable, attenuator probe, everything you add here, Aaronia have for all antenna they sell here that you can buy, and you can also add your custom calibrated data for your own antenna. So that's not a problem. So this calibration is very important. And then I just added, I can zoom out a bit, ISO the IQ spectrum data. This converts IQ or raw data into Spectra data. If you connect from Spectra here, you can connect it directly to the other ones. Here, the spectrum analyzer itself is converting live data to Spectra data. But if you use this IQ Power Spectra, your computer is converting it. The way I configured this one was a little bit bad. I turned it down to 256 FFT because recording a video with OBS with camera at the same time as looking at real-time data crashed my videos like a lot of times. This video has been re-recorded so many times because it crashed, because it's so much data. So I've turned it down to 256. Without video or recording, my computer can take like 32K quite easily. So if your computer starts to lag or something starts to crash because your CPU can't handle it, just change the FFT size down. If you change it too much down, it's less calculations, so the spectral data will look very different. But this is important. I don't need to go over all the other settings, but this one. And then I just connected, since this now converts IQ spectral data to spectral data, I could connect different blocks. So I connected the spectrum data, the spectrum block, waterfall, histogram, and waterfall 3D. And the only thing I've done with this one, I added like a max fall, I have the period buffer, like an average, max hold, and if you just remove this one, you can go to traces. Here you add all the different traces. You can add a lot of them. Change the colors, the width of them, like opacity of them, persistence, merge mode. So for each several one, you can also add like a histogram, on top if you like. And yeah, you can do a lot there. Here, I didn't do much. I just changed this one to get like a good view of how I wanted to look like. The waterfall also didn't do much here. You can change the colors, you can change how it looks. You can go in this bar here, show properties, and you can have like a gray scale, red and blue, green. Yeah, put it on grayscale, Spectran lambda, and change this here. So you have to make your own preference of colors, how you want it to look like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you also see like the profile that has been added here to see the channels is the go this here, and you find the frequency profile here, and this is the profiles that I've uploaded to my repository. So this that profile. This is the same thing when you watch like a sweep mode or anything else. You can also add the profile here. So then this would change how the spectra and what it will scan, right? If I take on 2.4, you'll see changes automatically up there. So if you have like a big mission that you like, and you wanted to, now I want to look like 2.4, and now I want to look at 5, you can just change the frequency profile up here. So this is a very, very basic mission. I will upload a mission of this. I will upload like the sweep version instead, and make one where you can watch the entire 5 GHz at once, and one for 2.4, and a different type of missions. So I hope this has hope you learned a little bit, and I will upload more videos, I will upload more profiles, I'll upload more Wi-Fi missions, and I will do more unnecessary testing and show you how you can use the real-time spectrum analyzer to troubleshoot and analyze things like this. See you in the next one.